Hello everyone and welcome to DP online platform held by the Provincial Directorate of Ain Shaq, supervised and guided by our Honorable Supervisor Mr. Ahmed Halawa, presented by Sumi Al-Jami, an English teacher from Ahmed Hayman Middle School. Our topic for today is the topic grammar, passive voice. The table of content. Steps to change a sentence from active voice to the passive voice. Here are some steps to follow if you want to change a sentence from an active voice into the passive one. Step number 1, introducing the form of the active voice. Step number 2, recognizing the passive structure. Step number 3, passive voice with all tenses. Step number 4, reviewing the use of the verb to be and the past participle. In step number 5, we are going to work on the passive voice with modals, both infinitive and perfects. Step number 6, providing guided practice and exercises. So let's start. Step number 1, introducing the form of the active voice. An active voice sentence has a subject that performs or undergoes the action of the verb. Generally, this sentence follows the structure or the following structure: subject plus verb plus an object. Most of the time, an active sentence starts with the subject that carries out an action. It can also include an object. It could be a person or it could be an object that receives the action, but this is not always required. Here are some examples of sentences that are written in the active voice. The subject has been colored in red and the verb colored in blue, but if there is an object, it has been colored in green. Take an example of active sentences. Alfred opened the wooden box. Alfred is the subject, opened is the verb, the wooden box is the object of the sentence. The complement is not in the sentence, is not necessary. The group of the people trampled the field. The group of the people is the subject. Sometimes the subject is composed from more than one word. Trampled is the verb of the sentence. The field is an object. The bell rang, and also my dad drove the car. My dad is the subject. Drove is the past simple of the verb. The car is an object. Look at the sentence. The sentence shows an active voice. Here is wild penguins. We can say that wild penguins attacked my sister. Wild penguins is the subject of the sentence. Attacked is the action verb. My sister is the object. In other words, we can say my sister was attacked by wild penguins. Step number 2, we are going to recognize the passive voice structure. The passive voice is a grammatical construction where the object of an active sentence becomes the subject of the passive sentence. The focus shifts from who is doing the action to what is being done. Structure of the passive voice. Usually the passive voice is composed from the subject plus the form of verb to be plus the past participle of the main verb plus by agent. Step number 3, passive voice with all tenses. As we all know, the passive voice varies with different tenses. Sometimes it can be with present simple, present continuous, so it comes with all tenses in English. Let's take an example number 1, passive voice with the present simple tense. An active form, normally the active form is composed from the subject, the verb, the object and the complement. The sentence, the subject of the sentence is my mother. The verb is in the present simple tense, prepares. Couscous is an object. The complement is every day. We can reform the sentence into the passive voice by respecting the following structure. We start with the object, now is couscous, and so we focus on the verb or the main verb of the active form. If the main verb is in the present, that means that verb to be also has to be in the present simple tense. Verb to be in the present simple tense takes two forms: is or are, depends on the subject itself. Couscous is a singular subject, so we can say couscous is prepared by my mother every Friday. So the subject now is couscous, it is singular, so verb to be is also is. present progressive or present continuous. The passive voice comes with the present continuous with the following form. So the president is giving a speech at this moment. In the passive form, we reverse the sentence. We start with the objects. The speech is being given by the president at this moment. The present continuous is given. So verb to be also take the present continuous form, is being or are being. So the speech is being because the speech is a singular. With simple past, like Christopher Columbus discovered America 100 years ago, verb discovered is in past simple tense, so verb to be take the past simple tense also, or we conjugate verb to be in the tense of the verb of the active form. So verb to be in the past was or were, so America was discovered by Christopher Columbus 100 years ago. With past continuous also, for example, she was decorating the room with balloons. Now the room was being decorated with balloons. We focus on the tense of the active form. So was decorating is the past continuous. So verb to be also takes the tense of the active form, was being or were being. And since the room is a singular form, so we say the room was being decorated with balloons. With present perfect simple also, active form, the postman has delivered letters this morning. Passive form, letters have been delivered by the postman this morning. Verb to be in the present perfect could be has been or had been, but the word letters is a plural form, so we say have been delivered by the postman this morning. Case number 6 is with the future simple. For example, in the active form, I will correct these grammatical mistakes next week. So I will correct is the future simple. Verb to be takes one form, will be with singular or either with plural form. These grammatical mistakes will be corrected next week. Case number 7 is the future perfect simple. Subject plus will plus have plus verb in the past participle. For example, the city council will have built new stadiums by the end of 2030. This is the active form since it starts with the subject, verb and object. Now we start the sentence with the object. New stadiums will have been built by the city council by the end of 2030. Now, case number 8 is the past perfect simple. Also, the passive voice comes with the past perfect simple, subject plus had plus verb in past participle. So the policeman had arrested the criminal before the disaster happened. So also verb to be, we conjugate verb to be in the tense of the active form. When we start with the object, the criminal had been arrested by the policeman before the disaster happened. There are some examples of the present simple tense. Normally, we use the present simple tense to make a generalization or to present a state of being or to indicate habitual or repeated action. The base form of the verb shows that it's present simple, or when we add an s or an es to the main verb. For example, Professor Brown teaches at Hunter. Or we can say all humans are equal. Maria eats in the cafeteria. To change the sentence from the passive into active, we keep the verb to be in the present simple tense plus the verb in the past participle. For example, Sonia is taught by Professor Brown and all humans are created equal. The cafeteria is cleaned. With present progressive, we use the present progressive to describe an ongoing activity or a temporary action. For example, we say the students are learning Spanish. Subject plus am, is or are plus verb ing form, or we can say I am working at McDonald's until I finish school. To change to the passive voice, we conjugate to the verb to be in the present continuous. It becomes is being or are being, depends on the subject. For example, classes is a plural, so we can say classes are being conducted in Spanish. Also, with the present perfect tense, we use the present perfect to describe an action occurring in the past but relevant to the present or extending to the present. Usually the present perfect is subject plus have or has plus verb ed if it's regular, or go back to the list of irregular verbs. Okay, for example, we can say Hunter has opened the Language Institute in East Harlem. To the passive form, we put or we conjugate the verb to be in present perfect tense. It has got two forms, has been or have been. For example, the Language Institute has been opened to relocate students off the main campus. Step number 4. The main step or the step number 4 is one of the main steps to form a correct passive form. Step number 4 is mainly devoted to reviewing the use of verb to be and the past participle. Look at the following chart. Tense is present simple, active voice to passive voice. For example, she delivers the letters. Passive voice, the letters are delivered. In past simple tense, she delivered. You see the verb finishes with an ed. The past simple in the active form, she delivered the letters. Passive voice, the letters were delivered. Future simple, she will deliver the letters. Passive voice, the letters will be delivered. With present continuous, she is delivering the letter. Also, we keep verb to be in the same tense. It becomes the letters are being delivered. With past continuous, she was delivering the letters, or the passive form, we say the letters were being delivered. Step number 5 with the passive voice with modals. How to form passive voice with modals. It could be modal infinitive or with modal perfect. Let's start with modal infinitive. The modal infinitive is subject plus modal verbs can, should, had better, ought to, may, might, need, must, have to, has to, will, may and might, plus bare infinitive or infinitive without to. This structure, we call it modal infinitive or modal verbs. To change sentences with present or future modals into the passive voice, the auxiliary be is added after the modal verb in sentence. For example, active form of the sentence, students must wear uniforms at school. Must is a modal verb that is followed by a bare infinitive, so usually we keep the same modal plus be plus verb in past participle. Uniforms must be worn by students at schools. Example 2, active form. You should keep the medicines far from the reach of their children. We can say that medicines should be kept far from the reach of our children. In the active form also, we say students can use calculator in the exam. The modal verb can plus verb bare infinitive, so can be plus verb in past participle. Calculators can be used by students in the exam. Okay, so here is a chart that shows some transformations with modals, passive voice with modal verbs. For example, let's start with can. Can, for example, we can say the problem can be solved easily. So could, the assignment could be finished. Will, the matter will be discussed later. With may, the document may be displaced. Might, the issue might be resolved. Should, the form should be filled out. Would, the contract would be signed. And with must, the project must be approved. With ought to, the decision ought to be respected. Now let's move to the modal perfect. Usually the modal perfect is modal plus have plus verb in past participle. Also comes with modals like must have plus verb in past participle, may or might plus have verb past participle, can't plus have plus verb past participle, could or should or shouldn't, ought or oughtn't, and the may and might, etc. Example, John must have lost the keys somewhere. So when we talk about modal perfect, the modal is always followed by have plus verb in past participle. To transform the form from active into passive, we add been. For example, the keys must have been lost by John somewhere. Active form also with should, like for example, I should have sent the application form on time. With passive form, we can say that the application form should have been sent on time. Also another example, Helen can't have stolen the jewelry. To reform the sentence into passive form, we can say that the jewelry can't have been stolen by Helen. So the modal perfect, just some examples, okay? Modal verb plus have been plus verb in past participle. So like the issue could have been addressed and the project must have been approved. The task should have been completed and the solution might have been overlooked. The decision would have been considered. Step number 6 is providing guided exercise and practice. Exercise 1. Okay. So you rewrite this sentence in the passive voice. The teacher will punish Tom. You focus please on the tense of the verb. The tense given of the active form is the future simple. Usually we keep or we conjugate verb to be in the tense given in the active form. Verb to be is will be. So we say Tom will be punished by the teacher. So will be. Now look at example number 2. They are painting my office today. They are painting. So this is the present continuous of the active form. Usually verb to be in the present continuous takes two forms, is being or are being. My office now becomes the subject of the sentence. It takes a singular form, so we can say that my office is being painted today. And Daniel bought this camera in Japan. The main verb is in past simple, bought. So this camera is singular, so verb to be in past simple takes two forms, it was or were. We can say this camera was bought in Japan and mosquitoes were eating me alive. I was eaten by mosquitoes. Okay, so will you focus on the verbs? So let's move to number 2. So the children had made many promises. Had made is the past perfect of the verb. We can use, you can reform the sentence into the passive. We say many promises had been made by the children. And Tom should accept our offer. Should accept also, this is the modal form, the modal infinitive. Should plus be, our offer should be accepted by Tom. Now number 7, the price includes breakfast and lunch. So includes is the present simple tense. We can say that the breakfast and lunch are included in the price. Example number 8, the city mayor is going to build a new bridge. We can say that a new bridge is going to be built by the city mayor. Example number 9, a British writer will visit our school next week. Again, here we're working on future simple. We can say that our school will be visited by a British writer next week. Example number 10, we can finish the work in 2 weeks. So again, we have a modal infinitive. The work can be finished in 2 weeks. Finally, is example number 11. Scientists in Oxford have found a cure for COVID. In other words, we can say a cure for COVID has been found in Oxford by scientists in Oxford. So I wish you learned enough about the passive voice and the things for